So with the Liverpool drama all done and dusted, Forest have to move their attention back to the second leg of the Europa League. And surely this should be easy. 3-0 up, 1 foot in the next round. But this is Forest. Welcome to the preview for Forest versus Fenerbahçe. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to the preview where we're going to be talking about the changes. It's going to be 2-pack settings, man. Changes are incoming for Thursday, and not because players have been crap, but because we are in a comfortable lead. I got some updates for you on Matt Sells. I got some updates for you on the Fenerbahçe players. There's lots and lots to talk about, so make sure you've hit the like, make sure you've hyped and subscribed, and let's jump into it. Now, before we get into the Forest stuff, Fenerbahçe have released some updates, which is crazy to see, but let me run you through them. Apparently, Talisca is out. He has a partial tear in his left hamstring. Ederson has got a left hamstring injury. Osterwald, the defender, he's got a groin injury. And that crappy Segler, who used to be the ex-Bindipper defender, he's out as well. So they've picked up quite a few injuries. And if this is true, and I'm pretty sure it is, then Forest have got it even easier. And even I'm starting to think it would take Stoke settings, literal what happened against Stoke, for Forest to mess this one up, surely. Why did I even say that? Anyway, from Forest perspective, there's no real changes apart from I can tell you exclusively that Matt Sells will be back in about a week's time. Now, some of you are going to say, well, Ortega is registered ahead of Matt Sells. Well, I found out that Matt Sells will be able to be registered once Forest, and if Forest go through from this round, he can almost reset back into the team into the next round, because that then becomes the official knockout stages, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's jump into the team sheet because, as I said, it's going to be 2-pack settings, all changes. And I think there's going to be a lot of them. Now, he's quite limited in certain aspects of what Vítor can do. So let's get the ones out that are definitely getting rested. So what is this team? Oh, this is my predicted team from last week. Bakwa will definitely start. Hutchinson may start. Einar Murillo always gets rested in these games. He's going to get rested. Morata will come in. I think Milenković will finally be rested. He ends up being the one that plays the whole time. I think Cunha will come in. I think Nico Williams, he can't be rested for nets. Nico Williams may have to play. Ola Einar, I don't know. We'll come back to him. The two that definitely will be rested will be Sangare and Anderson, because you've almost got like two debutants here. You can put Dominguez and Ryan Yates as the midfield two. Gibbs White 100% gets rested, and I think the most likely thing we will ever see ever is that McAtee will come into the number 10 here. Probably for the first time properly. So probably since Swansea, I would guess, was the last time he played in the 10 for Forest. The one that I'm not sure about is Jesus. I think Jesus may actually start. Not because I think Luca's crap, which I do. I just think Jesus is going to be going for a bit of stat padding and getting the golden boot for the Europa League. So this might be a good opportunity for him to play. And he only ever seems to score in the bloody thing. So he will start, I think, ahead of Luca. I don't know about Hutchinson. I'm trying to think who else would come in instead of him. He's probably going to start Dan and Doy. I think it'll be something like that. Where is that? There he is. Right, Dan and Doy there. Okay, I think it's something like that. But he's going to change the fullbacks as well. I don't know. It doesn't. I guess you can't make full wholesale changes. A couple of players will need to start. Oh, I just don't know what he does with the fullbacks. What do you guys think on the fullbacks? I think Savona's still injured. Nets can't play. Thank you, Sean Dyche. Maybe he brings in Zach Abbott. Maybe Zach Abbott for this one is fine. Europa League game. I know he's by the book as centre-back. But I still think Einar needs resting. Probably something like that. That's what I'd go with. You could bring Tommy the Machine Guns in goal, but I can't see that happening. I think it will still be Ortega. So that's the team I think it will be. Does it need to be any more drastic or as drastic as that? No, not really, but Forest priority is 17th plus in the Premier League. Let's be real here. Europa League is a bonus. For me, the Europa League is almost a priority, but that's just my personal preference because I think we can win that, get Champions League, and get our 3rd star next year. But, you know, you still got to stay in the Premier League. How do I see this game going? I think it ends up a draw, something like 1-1 or a 0-0. I think Fenerbahçe know it's done. I think Forest know it's done. But this is when I get worried, is when Forest get complacent with these things and start to take their foot off the pedal and do stupid things. We could go through the list, which I have, which is a mile long, of scars we've seen with Forest, of stupidity that has put us in situations that is ridiculous. So, what am I predicting? One apiece. And then we get into the knockouts. Now, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but as I've told you, I've kind of planned out who and how and where Forest can get. Now, it's not a certainty or a science or anything like that. It's just a bunch of predictions. But one thing is for sure, that I think the 2 strongest teams in this are Lyon and Aston Villa. Roma are decent as well. Forest cannot play either of those 2 teams until the semi-finals and or the finals. So, what you will see after this game against Fenerbahçe, well, not directly after, but they will do the draw for the next round, which we'll bring to you guys, of course. And that will then have the pathway finally established. The road to Istanbul, the road to the final will all be there so we can see it. But what will happen is Lyon and Villa will get separated. So Forest would have to play, say, Lyon in the semis and Aston Villa in the final if they were to get there and if we were to get there. But our route before that is quite funny because we're probably going to be playing a lot of the same teams we've already played, with the exception of Stuttgart, who we can get. That would be interesting because I think they're okay as well. There's still a few decent teams in this. Let's see how it all pans out. So join me tomorrow for the watch along and then join me for the draw when that happens. Let's see our route to the final. Let's get back into the Champions League and let's go get us that 3rd star. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure as well you check out Grumpy Old Reds. And if you want some more inside information over on about Forest, there's an update on Patreon for you guys as well. So go check that out. I'll leave the link down below. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Reds.